What's up, YouTube? You ever struggle with deciding whether a shirt is a woman's or a man's? Here's a few tips on polo shirts to help you sort out the difference. Alright, let's see how steady of a hand I can get for you. But this is two polo shirts. One's on a woman's mannequin and one's on a men's mannequin. Obviously, that's a dead giveaway which one's which. If you don't know, well, I'm not here to teach you that one. So what I am here to help you with is certain things to look for when you get stumped sometimes on a polo shirt, whether it's a men's or a woman's cut. First thing typically I will look for is the buttons. Men's polo shirts will always be 2 to 3 buttons, never more. If it's a women's, one, you'll be lucky if there is buttons. Two, it'll be either one, maybe decorative one, or it'll be have a little more flattering in the front, or they will have multiple buttons so that they can be more revealing, we'll say. So always look for the buttons. That's usually a pretty good giveaway. Next up, we would look for the sleeves. Typically a woman's sleeve is going to be shorter in length through here and more capped off the top, whereas a men's sleeve will run a little more deeper down the length and it'll be a lot longer underneath the armpit. So women's sleeves will be definitely shorter than a men's sleeve. Another good tip is to look for the cut itself. So think of an hourglass. A woman's polo cut is going to have a little curvature. If you see that curvature as I go down, cuts in right there, and it cuts back out. That's a dead giveaway for a woman's cut compared to a men's cut, which is straight as an arrow all the way down typically. So you see that? So that's another reason, a difference. All right, so other things to look for is typically a woman's cut in the back can be a little more curved sometimes because the typical woman would never tuck her polo shirt in. Men's will be straight. They might actually have a little tail to it, straight down, longer. So it'll be split on the end and it'll be maybe an inch longer in the back side than the front side. So because men typically will tuck their polo shirts in. I know that's changing with the untucked shirts and stuff like that, but typically. Another look is on some garments, and that you'll see, I can't remember the terminology for it, but it will have more of it'll be the same pattern, but there'll be like a cut line here where it's multiple pieces brought together sometimes. That'll give it a more of a hourglass, flattering the figure look to both sides, almost slimming through the back, where obviously men will not have that. It'll be just straight and narrow all the way down. But other things to look for on polo shirts and on dress shirts is the way the buttons are placed. As you can see, my left hand is going inside the shirt of the men's, right? So the buttons are on the left side, or excuse me, right side material. The holes are on the left side of the material. And as you can see on the women's, it's backwards. They will have the exact opposite button formation. And that, I'm not 100% that that's always the case, but most of the time that's the case, that the women's will be buttoned oppositely from the men's button. So if you catch that. All right, and then the last but not least, this is a pretty, for me, an obvious one, but you will hardly ever see on a women's garment a logo on the chest for obvious reasons. Women's logos tend to be on the hip. They can be on the sleeve. They can be sometimes in the back, what they call the yoke area up here, or even on the back shoulder sometimes. But you'll never see them on the chest of a woman's shirt for obvious reasons. Stare tactics. We don't like, they just better placement on a woman's garment somewhere else. Anyways, I hope that helps you decide different ways to look at the garments to find out whether it's a men's or a women's cut. I really hope it helped. If you liked this video, please comment down below. If you have any additional differences to point out between the men's and the women's, I'd love to hear your version. And like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and take care. Have a good one.